What? Card. Oh, keyword. Ah, no. Ah, no, yeah, SDI, it's only HDMI. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Two, 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 two.
Good morning, everyone. Molweni, Dumelang, Uyemwore. Thank you very much for making time to come to this very significant day for us as government, as South Africa as well. Today we are here for the launch of Freedom Month, which we all know that for us to get where we are 29 years later, there were so many other things that had to take place in South Africa for us to be here. Owami umsebenzi is really minor. My name is Zima Savelapi. I'm the Chief Director, Communications and Marketing, and I'm also acting DDG Corporate Services for the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. I'm here to just program direct and make sure that we have the right speakers at the right time, and what needs to happen, it happens at the right time. And mandizibulisele kubo bonke iindwendwe zethu ezibalulekileyo ezilapha. We've got OCO two of the public entities of the department. We've got National Heritage, National Library, Freedom Park, Boxing South Africa. We've got Estate Theatre. We've got our stakeholders as well from the arts sector. We've got SIFSA, we've got SAUSIF, Sianibulisa. We've got people from the Office of the Premier in the Northwest, as well as the MEC. And remember, Northwest is the province that will be hosting Freedom Day for us. So that is why we then have them as our guests today. We've got President of Softball South Africa, the South African Air Force, SAPS, as well as the South Africa Gallery and Legends. Welcome. Ngokuyesimane program ihamba, we will make sure that when we do get the names of other significant guests, we mention them. Ndizawucela sidlalelwe xa sizawuqala this program, sidlalelwe i-South African national anthem as well as the AU anthem. Tim at the back, can we have the anthems, please? Sorry, Kancinci, we are the department that is responsible for the national symbols. And one of the things that we do as a department, we educate people how do they stand when they are singing the national anthem. Let us not please put our hands on the chest or fiddle with our fingers. Our hands must be on the side, and we stand like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Singeleni Afrika, maluphakanyiswa ukholo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Nkosi, singelela thina, lusapho Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny, our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and join together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind and fount of culture, our pride and hope and break of dawn. Oh, sons and
Thank you very much. We can be seated. We are really starting our program. We are going to call upon the CEO of Freedom Park, who's hosting us today, Ms. Jane Mufumadi, to welcome us and give us some remarks.
Thank you, Program Director. Our Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Minister Zizi Kodwa. Our Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Mam Mafu. Our Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Mr. Tabang Makwetla. Our Acting DG in the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Dr. Kumalo. My Chairperson of Freedom Park Council, Mam Thengiwe Mugabadeli, my Deputy Chairperson and other council members, the Chairpersons of DSEC entities and then my fellow colleagues, CEOs. I've seen also the CEO of Boxing South Africa, the representatives of other national and provincial government departments, our social cohesion advocates, our Hulikane ambassador, our representatives of the South African Gallery of Legends, other representatives of other sporting codes, our creative sectors, the leadership here present, ladies and gentlemen, the Machero. Minister, with your permission, that before we start and I start talking, we stand up and observe a moment of silence in remembrance to our late council member, a freedom fighter who literally died with his boots on. Ntate Mbulelo Mosi, he last spoke here at Freedom Park on the 26th of March during the commemoration of Gwede Kinevale. Unfortunately, he passed on yesterday. May we please rise? Thank you. May his soul rest in peace. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you to this occasion, the launch of Freedom Month. And this is a time, I believe, that all South Africans reflect on the painful struggles we have overcome as a country, but also to honor those who bequeathed us the freedom we enjoy today. But as we do so, we celebrate the triumph of the human spirit. I also believe, Minister, that the launch of this Freedom Month program here at Freedom Park, which stands as a monument to human dignity, democracy, and national reconciliation, it's most relevant. Embracing us as we are seated here in this space called the Sanctuary, it's our main memorial, the Wall of Names, within which we have to date inscribed over 185,000 names of those who perished for our freedom, a testimony that the freedom we enjoy today was not free. Minister, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but you're launching this program today, the 6th of April, it's also very significant. It is exactly 44 years today on the fateful hanging of Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu. What a fitting tribute as you launch the Freedom Day. It's really a connection. I think through what Solomon Kalushi went through, indeed we know that this freedom was attained in blood. And who can forget his words when he says, and I quote, "My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. Tell my people that I love them. They must continue to fight." And I'm sure we do have many challenges still facing us. And as we remember Kalushi, let's continue to fight for our freedom. What bravery. Only at 23 years old. I wonder how many of us at that age, what have we attained and achieved? But that inspiration that you are never too young to fight for what you believe in. Selfless leadership personified. Minister, as we consolidate and safeguard our democratic gains, we need maybe to revisit what we meant when we spoke about the Reconstruction and Development Program, the RDP, and properly contextualize what we mean by that. The concept itself beyond building of RDP houses, which of course is a vital action by our government, looking at the need, the dire straits that our communities are going through. But I do believe, Minister, that we need to rebuild our communities in terms of consciousness so that we do not lose the gain of the freedom we enjoy today. We must always remember that there are those who thrive in chaos. And once we rebuild our stakeholders on the ground, our communities, we should be able to derive the gains. And we need to be vigilant as a nation that if we are not careful, people like Kalushi's death will be in vain. There are also those who says that while the rainbow nation that we are is beautiful, the rainbow only lasts when there is rain. And therefore we need something else to sustain the hopes and aspirations beyond the rain. We need to decolonize and free our minds. As I'm just doing the welcoming to Freedom Park, I'm also excited that as you are here at Freedom Park, and as I said, this is a monument to human dignity and democracy. It was on Freedom Day on the 27th of April, 1999, in Umtata, when President Mandela said that, and I quote, "The day should not be far off when we shall have a people's shrine, a Freedom Park where we shall honor with all the dignity they deserve those who endured pain, so we should experience the joy of freedom," I close quote. This is what we are all about at Freedom Park, but I also believe this is what this month is also all about. As we remember where we come from, as we honor those who laid their lives, but also as we continue to rebuild our nation. As I sit down, I also just want to recognize that tomorrow, the 7th of April, is the birthday of one of our outstanding women of FIRST, Mama Charlotte Maxeke. And let's remember her message when she said that this work is not for yourself. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people, but live amongst them. And if you can rise, bring someone with you. I do believe that the success of this nation rests in those words. Let's become community workers, community at hearts. Let's address our community challenges on the ground. That is a foundation for a sustainable freedom and democracy. You are all welcome, and if you're coming to Freedom Park for the first time, want to extend an invitation that when this program ends, you take a tour, a journey of self-discovery. I can guarantee you without fear of contradiction that irrespective of where you come from politically, in terms of belief systems, if you walk around Freedom Park, you will find yourself reflected one way or the other. In terms of heritage, history, culture, spirituality, and of course, mainly our focus being liberation heritage. I thank you, you're all welcome.
Thank you very much, CEO, for those warm welcome words. Indeed, we will definitely do the tour. Namhlanje, sibulela the media that is here to cover this event. This event should be educational to our children so that they know where Freedom Month of Freedom Day comes from. They also need to know that there is a place called Freedom Park. As CEO has told us that, Nelson Mandela, that there needed to be a park where all these freedom fighters would be then put up and really known by all South Africans. Ndingathethanga kakhulu sizawucela i-cultural performance yethu before siye kwi next item. Enkosi. Sure, thank you very much. Isn't our culture such a beautiful thing, though? It is really beautiful to watch. And what is nice about our culture is we sing and dance, whether we are sad, whether we are happy, but something connects us when we sing and dance. And I think bayasibonisa namhlanje into yokuba that is who we are as South Africans. And it also reminds us, DM no minister, sisese university, sasicula silambile when SRC iti akutyiwa. We need to go and see a campusini siyokhwalazela ukutya, and you're thinking, I am so hungry, but we would still sing. So singing always connects us to whatever we're fighting for. Phambi kokuba ndibize uDM wethu azosinika i-remarks asibizele no minister to the podium. I think CEO, Ms. Mufamadi said many things, and I think it is really apt that on the 6th of April, Minister, we did not understand what DM why you wanted it on the 6th of April. Tina, we wanted Tuesday, the 4th of April, and safinish into about DM no Minister bafunsi pasken, because remember tomorrow is Good Friday. But I'm sure they had that in mind, they did not share it with us. So siyabulela that you actually had that vision and made sure that on the 6th of April we are here at Freedom Park. That means a lot and that says a lot. And I think for me, those are the things that we must never forget. Freedom yethu was not an easy journey for anyone. And Niki speech ke bethunani mna. Ndizawucela uDM wethu azosinika i-remarks asibizele no minister to the podium. DM.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Acting DDG for Corporate Services, Zimasa Velapi. Greetings to the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Minister Zizi, good enough, Kodwa. Deputy Minister from Defense and Military Veterans, Mr. Tabang Makwetla, chairpersons and CEOs of our entities that are here, our stakeholders that are here, members of the media, Molweni Kaloku. Hayibo, Molweni. Hayibo, ingathi andifuna ubalapha. The day and the place is very critical for what we are trying to do today. I think CEO has already alluded to it, and Program Director has already alluded to it. But as we are here, and as part of us remembering that it was not just by mistake that we are able to celebrate democracy and freedom in the country. Things happened, people died, and that's why some of us are able to call ourselves children of democracy and people that are able to stand and fight for things, because some people before us managed to do that on your behalf. As the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, we don't take it very lightly, the fact that government and the president gave this task to us to be the ones that are actually coordinating the commemoration and the celebration of the national days. It's something that we really take it to heart, because it talks to our role as the department on what we could do around the issues of social cohesion and nation building. And I think it's important, therefore, that as you see us as the department, as we're trying to mold and mix together the issues of culture, the issues of arts, and making sure that the day becomes a commemoration and a celebratory mood. I know that DM from military and veterans, the defense and military veterans, asked me, I thought there's going to be some entertainment here. I said there can't be a Department of Sports, Arts and Culture and no entertainment. So I just wanted you to know that this is why we are here. But mine is not really to speak. The minister will speak today and explain why we're here. All that we want to tell you is that, yes, Zimasa, it was deliberate that we chose the 6th of April, and it was also deliberate that we chose the Freedom Park. So that when we talk about launching the Freedom Month, it has got some educational perspective to all South Africans and understand where we come from and why are we here. Minister, over to you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister Nokawe Mafu. Program Director, the Deputy Minister Nokawe, Deputy Minister Makwetla, the heads of public entities that are present here, the chairpersons and CEOs, our CEO of the Freedom Park, who I must say has looked after this place quite very well, the acting DG and other officials, the representatives of various sectors and subsectors. I extend my warmest greetings to you all, fellow South Africans, because we are gathered here today to mark the official commencement of Freedom Month, a month in which we celebrate the journey we have traveled together as a nation from that important foothold that 1994 provided us. This marks the culmination of our collective effort to bring our new order. Along the way, many of our patriots perished. We'll cite a few about all those who perished. Today marks exactly 44 years since the hanging of that brave patriot, Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu, only a few meters from here. In 4 days from today, we'll also be marking the 30th anniversary of the brutal murder of Martin Tembisile Krisani Oshonyane. Also this month, we will be laying to rest the mortal remains of Ms. Koleka Tunyiswa Shabani on the 22nd of April 2023 in Gqeberha, known as Port Elizabeth in the past. Ms. Shabani is among the nurses that were recruited by President O.R. Tambo following the request by President Julius Nyerere of Tanzania then to help with the health sector following the departure of British nurses who said they could not work under the African-led government. This morning, I had a privilege to meet with the President of the Republic to discuss a number of issues. And one issue that we discussed for a very long time this morning was how we celebrate national days, how we make national days inclusive to enhance social cohesion and nation building. I am pleased to see in this room a very diverse group of people representing the diversity of our nation, which our diversity is our strength. I'm very happy to see cultural groups present. I'm very happy to see sporting fraternity present. One of the issues that the President of the Republic emphasized is that perhaps the way we have been celebrating national days, we have not reached out to other national groups. And therefore, as we proceed to Matlosana in the Northwest for the 27th of April Freedom Day celebrations, the celebrations must not be about a day itself. It must, as we call it, Freedom Month celebrations. And therefore today marks the beginning of those celebrations. I'm happy to see and to hear that there are officials from the government of Northwest, because we do expect them to organize these celebrations, not only on the 27th, but starting from today, to make the 27th of April and the Freedom Month celebration a more inclusive. we just had a successful celebration of Human Rights Day in DR. It was after a longest time that we have seen almost all South African groups, race, color, and creed participating in the celebration. The reason is, preceding the event, we recognize that people have cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, and therefore they were organized on the basis that we all belong to South Africa. Hence they came in numbers in DR. We need to carry this aspiration. All South Africans must belong to South Africa and believe they are South Africans. Therefore, the celebration of national days must enhance the notion of social cohesion and nation building. This year, we gather under the theme Consolidating and Sustaining Our Democratic Gains. We consolidate democratic gains because we believe since 1994 a lot has been done to change not only the national heritage landscape of the country, but we have changed this country for the better. This, we must say, notwithstanding the missteps that were committed along the way. We must speak fondly and frankly about missteps because we must not hide difficulties and challenges to our people. There is therefore a reason to celebrate because the great strides have been made since 1994, and while it will be impossible to enumerate all of them, I think it will be important nonetheless that we foreground some of the most notable ones. We cannot say we are free if most of our people are denied the basic of services necessary in improving their general quality of life. The latest Stats SA Household Survey 2021, which is a regular survey that gives an empirical account of improvement or otherwise in terms of general standards of living in households across the country, paints a picture of improvement, much stark contrast in 2002, let alone the state of play at the dawn of freedom and democracy in 1994. In South Africa today, there are also more households that have access to clean water, electricity, and so on. As we enumerate these challenges, like a point I made earlier, we must equally speak frankly about the challenges we face. We must speak frankly about the missteps we committed along the way. And as we do so, we must be inspired by the words of the late president of the African National Congress, O.R. Tambo, when he said, "Comrades, you are right, it is difficult to wage a liberating struggle. Wait until you are in power. I might be dead by then. At that stage, you will realize that it is actually more difficult to keep power than wage a liberation war. People will be expecting a lot from services, from yourselves. You will have to satisfy the various demands of masses of your people. In the process, be prepared to learn from other people's liberation and revolutions. You must be ready even to learn from the enemy." These are the words of President O.R. Tambo. We gather here today to honor our late president, the icon President Nelson Mandela. It was him who envisaged this historic and iconic Freedom Park. There are a number of build-up activities throughout the month leading to the main event in Matlosana. We'll therefore invite all South Africans, people of creed, people of color, people of different religion, to celebrate some of these achievements. But as we do so, we must not hide the difficulties we face. The difficulty we face today require of all of us as South Africans to work together. We hear some of the voices today continue to remind us that it was better under apartheid. Notwithstanding these challenges, we must never reminiscent the past. We must never idolize the past, which denied many of us of our human dignity and right. And therefore, let's confront our challenges and accept our weaknesses and continue to build a country of our generation, of our fathers, which was described by our forebears, a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous country. Like President Owar Tambo said, we might think it was difficult to wage a struggle of liberation, but the most difficult struggle is when you are in power, when people demand new services of various demands. This requires a leadership that is steeped among the people, a leadership that appreciates and exists, that lives among the people, like our CEO of Freedom Park has said. It is therefore an opportunity, as we celebrate Freedom Month, a moment of reflection. We must reflect of the progress we have traversed. At the same time, we must reflect on the weaknesses we have committed. We must reflect on the missteps we committed. We committed the mistakes because we were committed to build a better life for all our people. As we live here today, until the end of the month, we shall continue to celebrate the life of President Nelson Mandela beyond this month, beyond July, but also as an anchor and a hope of our people since 1994. That in spite of our difficulties we face as a people, he remains a pillar of hope. With all the difficulties we face as a nation and our resilience, our icon and the first president of the Republic remains a hope to many of us. Let's go out in our numbers, to go out in Motlosana local municipality in Klerksdorp, in our small places as stakeholders, celebrate this achievement, but continue to define and draw from the lessons of those who came before us, for us to proceed and build a better country for our generation. And accept that only that country that is defined in the preamble of the Constitution of the Republic, that all South Africa belongs to all who live in it, both black and white. Until that aspiration is achieved, we dare not fail, in spite of the difficulties. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The Freedom Month is therefore declared as Freedom Month celebrations are therefore declared from today until the 27th of April, when we meet at Klerksdorp, Matlosana Municipality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. The Minister has given us a responsibility in his speech to say that we need to go out there and make sure that we build a socially cohesive South Africa. He also reminds us that we need to hope, because the people before us were hopeful as well. But UDM, Kamnandi, I liked it because there is no age when she said we are children of democracy. So, nathi sibadala kangaka, we are still mentioned that we are children. And those children of democracy were made through the sacrifice of the people that have gone before us. Dinabantu that I was just given to acknowledge. We've got the president of SIFSA, Ms. Joy Mbewana, chairperson of Moshito, Stanley Khoza, and we have leadership from ECHO, which is Association of Independent Record Companies. Sizawucela i-cultural performance before we go to our next item on the agenda.
I think we're in the afternoon now. Good afternoon. I'm Vuyelwa Maluleke, and I will be reading you some poems. ask my mother about the past, and she says, I know what a locked door looks like grabbed off its hinges. It looks like my brother's skin tearing. And you can hear that same surprise sound from a brown boy falling through a prison window in 78. We were banned once. Banned lips, banned wombs, banned sex. And having nothing else, you tell yourself that next time you will tell the flashlights to turn back, that there is nothing here to dig the night for. Turn back. Everyone big enough to kill you is dead already. Turn back. Like that could hold your walls tighter. But you are too late. And you can hear the door on the floor already. Its stomach punched in, and their fist still in it. That hate will shake your house out of its sleep. The ornaments, the vase, the picture of Jesus hung above the TV will all look like they are running, while combat boots empty your house of your brother. We had grown used to picking up doors in the morning, to turning our blood over and over in the sand. We were staying alive to bury each other. When Carltonville and Soweto were being accused of too many things at once, of being restless mouths, of being black and not wanting to swallow light bulbs to make ourselves ghosts. So, when you tell us to forget about it, to build a bridge and get over it, you sound like people desperate to commit new sins, while we are trying to forget your fathers, walking into our homes without ever knocking first. And sometimes this country is a liar. And sometimes this country wants us to tell each other to die, to lay in bed with sand in our mouths, to kiss in coffins, eat our neighbors in the street, to call ourselves something ugly, and then break our mouths so we can never relieve the suffering, to slump our children inside their dolls, teach them to shh, play dead, split open, and come home like smoke without a voice or a body. And sometimes we are taught that a country is a woman and a woman is a rock. We are taught that a country is a rock. And where there is a rock, there is a destination or a record or a safe place to rest. We are taught that the way a country cares for its women is how it cares for itself. We, the people, take our rest in this anthem. Take it seriously. We,
Ms. Fumane, Ms. Fumane, sizawucela andiphinde ndibuye. After this, sizawucela acting DG, Dr. Cynthia Khumalo, to come and do a vote of thanks on behalf of the department. If you have a program, you will see that on the program we said that we are going to have a question and answer session. We're not going to do that. Minister said that if we are doing a question and ingati sise parliament or something, so we're not going to do that. But what we will do, we will then have the media and for just a few minutes before the minister leaves, because we'll let the flight, and then he can take that interview from everyone at the same time. Acting DG, ndicela uze ngaphambili. Kuthiwe, this is the country that is worth fighting for.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Minister, Deputy Minister, and all the dignitaries that are here. Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon now. Good afternoon to everyone. I am not going to be long. I do want, as the program director has indicated, to thank everyone for gracing this launch of the Freedom Month under the theme Consolidating and Sustaining Our Democratic Gains. Minister, upon addressing us, said, it's all systems go now. We will go ahead throughout the country celebrating this hard-fought-for freedom. Minister wants to extend his appreciation to the Deputy Minister, Thabang Makwetla, for gracing this event. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, for being here with us. We also wish to extend our appreciation to yourself, Minister. We know it's been a very difficult week, together with the Deputy Minister. Hence today, you quickly also have to fly back, but you made it a point that you are here. And thank you, Deputy Minister, for clarifying why you as our principals chose today. We thought you were just being slave drivers. I don't want to say as usual. I'm being intimidated, colleagues, right here at the back, but some things are career limiting, so I won't go too far. Amongst us, as has been indicated, are different chairpersons and CEOs of public entities of the department. We've been made aware that National Heritage Council, you are here, National Library of South Africa, Freedom Park, of course, our hosts, Boxing South Africa. We have with us here the social cohesion advocates, several of them that are amongst us. We also are aware that a public entity, State Theatre, is represented amongst us. We want to appreciate your presence. There's quite a number of other leaders amongst us here, a delegation from Northwest that will be hosting the Freedom Day celebration, as has been indicated. President of Softball South Africa, South African Air Force is represented, South African Police Service is represented, South Africa Gallery of Legends, they are represented. I noticed that both the president of SIFSA and the president of SAUSIF are here, the federations within the cultural and creative industry. Minister, I'm not sure that in your few days of being with us, you have met our Khulekane ambassadors. I noticed that both of them are here. Uma Jens, I always want to say, Uma Jens, when I speak about you, if only you had played for my favorite club. But anyway, Uma Jens is here as the department's Khulekane ambassador, one of the Khulekane ambassadors working with the department, together with DJ Gaddafi. Those ministers are our ambassadors that work with us to push against this scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. Just in conclusion, in appreciating your presence here amongst us, I would like to just emphasize what the CEO was saying. If you can rise, bring someone else up with you. Kwasho umama, Charlotte Maklege. If we can celebrate her life, not just tomorrow, as we celebrate her birthday, but throughout the month of April, throughout the year of 2023, I was told, Minister, that it's 2020 she. This year is 2020 she. Oh, the guys didn't know that. Ladies knew that this is 2020 she, this year that we are celebrating. If you can do that, you would really be honoring her life. Just very quickly, Minister has mentioned the fact that there is a range of activities and celebrations that are happening throughout the country. He has mentioned a few, please be on the lookout. We will be posting continuously in our social media platforms as a department, those activities, and if you can please, if you're coming from there, go and celebrate. This ranges from the arts and craft activities that are focusing on artists with disabilities that will be taking place at the William Humphreys Arts Gallery. It goes across to the social solidarity and freedom dialogue that will be taking place in Fixburg, Free State. Spongile, I'm sure you will go there. President of SIFSA is very close to where you are coming from. The celebration of the country's struggle poet, Adam Small in Cape Town, Western Cape. The Nelson Mandela Museum Sport Challenge in Qunu, Eastern Cape, all over the country. We are not going to be able to mention all of them, but what we are saying is please be on the lookout. Our social media platforms as the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture will be continuously posting. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, the message that Minister brought with him here, coming from the meeting with the President, is for us to practice inclusivity. It's not saying government practice inclusivity. It's saying all of us, we need to hold hands and we need to reach out to all the other cultural groups in the country in celebrating this so important month. We look forward to seeing you in Klerksdorp on the 27th of April, 2023. Thank you very much.
Bendithe andizophakama, but I guess bendirongo. Hashtag, this country is worth fighting for. I'm trying to be cool, ndizenze nami abantwana bangoku bathetha nge-hashtags. This concludes the launch of Freedom Month. Enkosi Minister, no Deputy Minister, Makwetla, siyabulela in chairperson. Siyabulela kuni senibulelwe, but there are refreshments that are going to be served. But immediate sizayicela noba bame phaphandle where there's light, if that's where they choose, so that we can then bring our principals for a 5-minute interview. Thank you very much.
Hands off.